So I chose physical therapy because one, I'm just really fascinated with how the body moves and how it works as a whole. I've always been interested in that for as long as I can remember since high school. And I think physical therapy is just one of those really cool ways that I can get involved with healthcare, help people out to improve their lives, and also solve really cool, complex problems in as far as how people move and how they get around their day to day and how they just live fully. So I think that's why I really enjoy it.
Fantastic. Well, I understand you took a bit of a detour between graduating from college and applying to PT school. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your journey?
Sure. So I graduated from Appalachian State back in 2013, I think it was. So it's been a minute. And PT had always been something that was on my mind that I wanted to do ever since, again, like I said, in high school. But I've always been the type of person that I feel like I really needed to fill out other things that I might have an interest in before I really make any full commitments. And PT school is a very big commitment. So I worked for the last 8 or 9 years doing all different sorts of jobs. I was working in retail. I was making phone calls for telemarketing. I was driving 18 wheelers. I was working in construction and all kinds of fun stuff. And it was really a chance for me to roll out things that I knew that I didn't want to do with my life anymore so I could get closer and closer to figuring out what it was that I did want to do. And then I finally landed on a PT tech job out in Raleigh back in 2021 or 2022, right after the pandemic was starting to calm down a little bit. And it was the first place I felt like I was at home on a day-to-day basis. I was always excited to go into work and learn and meet new people and work with my physical therapists that were there. And that's when it really solidified for me that PT was the right choice.
Okay. Did you have any one particular aha moment while you were serving at that clinic?
I think it was just a bunch of things that sort of all aligned together. I moved to that clinic because I was trying to get into PT school at the time. And I finally heard back from Campbell, which was, I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? That's going to get me on the way to doing PT. So I think that would be like the big aha moment, like, yes, like it's perfect, it's lining up just the right way. But there were so many personal life events that were going on around that time that whenever Campbell also said yes to something, it was just like everything was happening in a timeline and the way it was supposed to. And it's really hard to explain everything in super detail because I'll get kind of emotional about it. But my mom calls them God winks, is what it was. And I think the last thing that needed to happen to make it so was the acceptance from Campbell. So
Fantastic. Well, how does it feel to finally be sitting in a chair at DPT?
amazing. I'm blessed every day to be here because it was a long shot for me to get to where I was to where I am here today. So it feels amazing. I'm grateful every day I come in. And just like back when I was working, it's the case that I feel at home when I'm here. So
And what would you say has been your favorite class so far?
I've had a few favorite classes, but any of the hands-on classes have been my favorite, specifically probably tests and measures, MSK, anything where I really get to work with my hands and on a patient has been my favorite, but I love everything so far.
Fantastic. And so, thinking about your work experience, your classroom experience, what would you say just if you ran into somebody in the grocery store and they said, "Why should I do PT?" What do you think there is? What do you think the value of PT is?
I think there's a lot of value in PT. I think it's a really great way to, as we say, bridge the gap in healthcare. So it's really about, in my opinion, kind of a holistic way of going about living a healthier life. So you're getting people involved in fitness and wellness and taking care of their bodies. You're getting them moving better so they can participate in their day-to-day lives. But you're also not wearing the white coat on a day-to-day basis. So it's a really cool way just to have that connection to the healthcare field and really make a big difference there, but also have that really personal level of dealing with patients on a one-on-one basis, especially because you'll be seeing them multiple times potentially throughout the week and really developing those relationships. So I think it's just a really cool way to, really get invested with the people that you're taking care of and get invested into their lives. And you don't really get that in necessarily all healthcare fields.
Fantastic. Okay, finally, what advice would you give someone considering PT school?
That it's never too late to get started with it. This is coming from someone that, again, took 9 or 10 years off from schooling because he was terrified to make the commitment at first and understood what a big commitment that was. And just know that there's not a single right way to do anything that we're doing in life. Everyone seems to have a plan from A to B to C, but there's not one right way. So whenever you feel like it's ready for you to get started, take advantage of it then, and don't start too soon, and don't feel like it's too late to get going with it because it's